perfect, so that you will be able to tune into this later should you choose. But already, thank you everybody for joining us for this month's IREP webinar and updates. There are some really exciting things going on within the program, within ECI development, that we're really excited to share with you. And I think it's going to be a good session. As many of you know, we do try to keep this to about 30 minutes. It may end up being a little bit longer because we do have property updates at the end, but feel free to stay on if you can. If not, like I said, we will be recording the session. Now, here's a quick moment for you to practice using that Q&A section of the control panel. Type in how long you have been a part of the ECI family. Find that Q&A section. This is also where you're going to type in any questions that pop up during the session. And then from there, we'll read those out loud. I know for some of you, I see here, you've been around with us for some time as an organization. We've been around for about 20-something years at this point. Really started with the IREP program about 2 years ago, a little bit less, about a year since Ali's been with us. And we've really just created a much stronger, robust program. All right, so I see some of you are not being responsive here, but we have Molly with us for 2 years. Jeff's been with us 3 months, question mark. George, yeah, George, we've been together for a long time here, 5 years. LJ, 2 months. Ted, 1 month. And I see some of you are not yet there on the computer. Ed, about 2 months. But that's okay. We will we'll pretend that you answered here. Randy Shaver says 2 years. Fantastic. Well, it's nice to see that you are all still active. I think the big part about this program, and something that really sets apart the people who are successful versus the people who are not, especially with this program, are those who are consistent, who go at it over time. I know, George, you said there on the screen, you've been with us 5 years, and now you're starting to see a lot of your fruits of labor coming together. You're starting to see inquiries come in. You're starting to see more interest from people. And it really is something that happens over time. This is not something you being branded as an international expert, that doesn't happen overnight. It definitely happens over months, if not years. So I'm glad to see that many of you have been with us for some time. And for those who are newbies, thank you as well for your time with us and learning more about the program and the opportunities. So my name is Rachel Jensen. I'm the Vice President of Sales for ECI Development. Looking at those names, I think I've chatted with many of you at this point, if not all of you, and really excited to have you on board. And hopefully for those of you I haven't met in person, be able to meet you along the way. With us today, we also have Ivan Levy. He is our Sales and Marketing Manager. Ivan, do you have any words that you want to share with us here?
Always, always. Hi, everyone. My name is Ivan, as Rachel mentioned, and I have met quite a few of you. And like Rachel said, I'm very eager to meet the rest of you at some point. But I've been loving the time that we've all been having so far, sharing and exchanging information, working together. And so looking forward to the future and working with everybody else as we go along.
Awesome. Thank you, Ivan. And also with us, we have the wonderful Mrs. Ali Rodriguez. Ali, you can take over from here.
Perfect. Thanks, Rachel. So yeah, most of you, actually all of you, should know who I am. We've definitely been in some sort of communication, whether you've been with us for 5 years like George, or just recently joined the team. But big, huge, great, wonderful news on my end is that we have made it back into Belize. Not quite to Ambergris Key yet, but we are on home soil. So looking forward to getting back to San Pedro probably in the next 8 or so days. We are in quarantine, but very excited nonetheless to be here. So just looking at the agenda for today, we have, of course, your team intros, Rachel and Ivan and myself. Next, we'll say happy birthday to our August referral partners. We'll take you through some marketing strategies and tips for August, as well as the property spotlight, and look back at July on what all you guys did and how wonderful and amazing you were able to use those campaigns. We'll talk about the rewards for our referral partners, and then we'll have a quick poll at the end. It looks like that did not get updated, Ivan, but we'll be asking you some questions at the end about what you are enjoying about our webinar series. Those of you that have been promoting those and a part of those live and watching the recordings, we want to get your feedback on other things you want to see or hear about. So as we go through this webinar today, just be thinking about the pros and cons of what we've been delivering so far, and happy to listen to those thoughts. So please share toward the end of this presentation. So with that being said, we will say happy birthday to our August babies. You can see them there on the screen. All the way from August 2nd, happy birthday to you a few days ago, up until the end of the month with Ramon on August 30th. Happy birthday to you all. We wish you the very best. Hope you're able to celebrate in a really special way. All right, Ivan, I think we are ready for your marketing tips.
Sure. Thank you very much, Ali, and happy birthday to everybody in August. I'm an October baby myself, but happy birthday to everyone in August all the same. We're going to start off the marketing here, the recap for last month, and then some ideas that we have for the upcoming months as well. Whoops. Went a little bit too far ahead there. Alrighty, so we're going to recap with our blogs here. So as many of you guys know, every month we like to share the different blogs that we put out on our websites. I'm going to go through some here that are very, very important and have received a lot of feedback from you, and then also internally from our team as well, that these have been working very, very well. And so the first one there is one that was actually done by our COO, Patrick. He put together this very comprehensive blog about a lifestyle change, which is what a lot of people are thinking about right now, a lifestyle change when moving overseas. And so this blog talks about making that change, going to a different country, and sort of guides you through that step there, through those steps there. And then also specifically talks about living in sort of an eco-friendly, sustainable lifestyle, and how easy that is, and how fruitful that is and beneficial it is for you, for everyone. And so that is an exceptional piece that I would highly recommend that you check out. And if you'd like to receive that, we can definitely send it over. If not, you can head over to our ECI website, head over to the blogs page, and you can find it right there. The next one is the unique experiences for surfers. This was a piece that we created specifically for the clientele that is in the surf demographic for Nicaragua specifically. We have a lot of surfers that want to head down and are interested in the opportunities there. So we put this piece together to talk a little bit about those experiences. And if you take a look, you'll notice that some of it is not all, just completely surf centric. Some of the experiences there, we talk about activities, heading down to Asuchio Beach. You don't need to be a surfer to head there, but it is quite fun, and it is a location where you can learn how to surf if you're just a beginner there. And it has a lot of fun activities to do while in Nicaragua. So that's also a piece you can share for any of your clients that are looking for information like that. And then the bottom two that we have there about Belize, one is referring to why Belize should be on your list of countries to visit, just sort of ticking down the boxes there about the highlights of Belize, the experiences that you can have here. And then we did a specific blog on life living on the mainland of Belize, because for those of you who have visited, you'll probably notice that the island life and the mainland life are two very different things. And I was just on the mainland myself this past weekend, and it's such a different world. It's so beautiful, and it's expansive, wide mountain ranges and all that. Much, much, much different than what you're going to see here on the island, but all the same, very beautiful. And we wanted to talk about that to make sure that we're providing as much content as possible about the entire country of Belize there. So these pieces are readily available for you, and I did want to show you exactly where you can find those on the website there. But I'm seeing that it wasn't presented here, but you guys can head over to the website, Grand Bayman and Grand Pacifica's website, and then you can head over to the blog section and you can see the blogs there. Next, we have our destination marketing videos, and I did want to share a good example here for everybody to take a look at what sort of videos you can have featured on your website, on your social media, and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one for you to see. I hope it's as clear for you as it is for me on my screen, but this is an example of Grand Pacifica, and what you're looking at here is the Las Perlas Oceanfront Village Building 1. You have the pool, sea salt restaurant, and as the video is progressing, you're going to see building number 2 that's under construction there, and all of that you're seeing there is Grand Pacifica, specifically the San Diego Viejo community and onward. So These videos are, as you can see, they're very engaging, they're very beautiful. It gives you a chance to look at all that is there at Grand Pacifica, you know, just right from the comfort of your home. And what we've been doing with a lot of our partners is pairing up videos like these and branding them specifically to their company. So for example, we have a partner, Pamela, that she is going to be putting together, or we're going to be putting together a collaboration piece with her about Nicaragua and about Grand Pacifica. And she's going to be having her company logo and all that information listed on there. So this is an example of the kind of media that you can have on there, on your website, on your social media, and then you can use that to funnel traffic to your website and to your landing pages that we're creating for you. So if anybody needs something like this, as always, shoot an email out to Ali and I. We'll get it ready. But please know we are already getting some requests to put these together. And of course, we want to make them as customized as possible. So it does require a little bit of back and forth. We're going to set some meetings with you to get a good idea about what it is that you want and what will work well for you. So there is some delay there. We'll say about a week and a half to get everything finalized for you. But of course, reach out and let us know if you're interested in getting to work on something like this. We'd be happy to put that together for you. Move on to the next slide. Okay. And so as you guys can see, we've been doing a lot of webinars over the past few weeks. And one thing that I did notice is that when we have these webinars, we do have a lot of people that are just, you know, for one reason or another, they're not able to attend. You know, life happens, last minute something changes, and you know, your schedule gets shifted around and you're just not able to attend. We always do record our sessions similar to this one. So if you're not able to attend, you'll still receive a recording. But one thing we noticed with these past few webinars is that a lot of people are registering, like fully registering after the webinar date. And so what we thought of putting together was a follow-up email that goes out to anyone who registers after the webinar has already aired. And so what I wanted to refer to everybody is you can use those exact same landing pages, those exact same links that we send you for all of these webinars, and promote them again, include them in your newsletter, add them to your social media and use them again. What's gonna happen is when someone fills out the registration page, they're not gonna get an email that's gonna say, oh, thank you for registering. What they're gonna get is an example like this, one of these follow-up emails that's going to have the recording already on there. It'll have links that they can access all the material that was discussed during the webinar. And so that is, again, another piece where if someone is inquiring with you about, oh, I saw that you have condos and casitas in Nicaragua. Could you let me know a little bit more about that? You can just send them the link and say, hey, click through this link. You're going to receive a recording of a webinar where we talk all about condos and casitas at Grand Pacifica. And so this is another piece, another marketing tool that you can use to get more leads, get more attraction to your website, get more conversions on your social media channels as well. So we did want to share that out for everybody. And then in speaking about our webinars here, we have a schedule. We did want to show everybody the different webinars that we have upcoming. Of course, today we have one that's going to be happening later on today. It's specifically referring to gold and precious metals. Upcoming next, we have the EVA Nicaragua webinar. EVA is the Eco Village Asuchio, which is a tiny home community that we're very excited to discuss with everybody. We haven't really been marketing that or passing along too much information about it, but this will be the first presentation that we'll have for it. So very excited about that. We have another tiny home Q&A with Patrick, who's our CEO. I mentioned that he wrote that blog piece for us earlier. And so he's going to be having a session where all your eco-friendly tiny home queries will get answered. And so you can register for that one. And then, as you can see, we have San Diego Viejo and Santa Barbara, which are other communities within Grand Pacifica. And then we're going to be talking about residency in Belize, Panama, and Nicaragua. So those are the webinars we have for the month of August. And of course, you can see there we have some more scheduled out for the month of September. And just a reminder as well, every month we like to let you guys know, your clients are already looking. As you can see from the material that we put together, we are still receiving submissions. We are still receiving interest, emails, messages on Facebook. Your clients are looking, they are interested. They're still, on that buyer's journey. They still want this information. So we're here for you as always. Any information that you need, any details that you'd like, any material that we can work on for you, let us know. We'll be happy to set some time to discuss your goals, your ideas, and then come together and put something magical out there for you and your clients. All right, Ali, you're up. Favorite part of the webinar.
Well, I don't even have to say it at this point, do I? Yeah, this is the part of the program where you kind of get this feedback from us. You get to see the lead generations, you get the emails through HubSpot and all that, and that's fun and everything, but this is our opportunity to say thank you. And how we do that is that our agent of the month, this is somebody that uses all of the campaigns that are provided to them and generates at least 10 leads for the month to qualify for this particular award. It is a 2-night stay at the Best Western Grand Bayman on Ambergris Key or at our Grand Pacifica property in Nicaragua. So with that being said, we appreciate everything that you all do. So this is just a way to kind of highlight those that are thinking outside the box, going above and beyond, and generating those leads. So with that being said, we want to say congratulations to Marguerite. She is our partner of the month for July. And what I want to spotlight about Marguerite is that she actually used old campaigns and old links, and she went back and reached out to her network with previous materials that we had provided her. She went through kind of a period with COVID and relocating. And when she was able to get her feet back on the ground and re-engage, she really took off with generating leads. So congratulations. We look forward to welcoming you to either Grand Bayman in Belize or Grand Pacifica in Nicaragua. And I just want to let you guys know that when you receive this award, this certificate, it can be applied if you choose to attend a trade mission at either one of those properties. It can be applied to those nights that you are there. One of the things that we kind of touched on last month was these personalized email intros. And last month, Amanda had a great one. This month, another partner named Della had a really good personalized email intro that you can see on the screen, but it basically, it says, please meet, and I didn't put the name of the person, I don't have that permission, but please meet, Jane Smith of Jackson, Florida. She and her husband are considering a second home for their family in the next 12 to 8 months. This is really important information for us. And the fact that she's already kind of opened this conversation with her client helps us to better serve her client, but also it helps us understand where they are in that conversation. She goes on to tell us what the interest is, what countries, and then kind of mentions Rachel and myself, and here's a great opening webinar for you to kind of get your feet wet. So I felt like this was really something that I wanted to share with you guys on what that personalized email introduction looked like. Next month, I'll have another email introduction to share with you guys from another partner, Ed. Ed did a great job introducing a client of his and a friend of his. So I'll be sharing that with you next month. But I like to take the opportunity to do this to share with you guys what other partners are doing and how those are successful for them. So as I mentioned a little while ago, we do have for now scheduled trade missions and discovery tours in Belize. At this point, we do not have one on the calendar for Nicaragua, but our Grand Pacifica property did reopen this past weekend and went exceptionally well. So I imagine that we'll be looking at the calendar for a Nicaragua Trade Mission and Discovery Tour as well. So you can see there on the screen, November 20th through the 22nd and December 18th through the 20th. Those are kind of tentative dates. If you would like to see what that agenda will kind of look like, we can't promise everything at this point, but if you would like to see what that may look like, it's here on the screen. It's basically a weekend that we kind of plan out, not only informational sessions, but also some fun activities kind of sprinkled in between so that you can get to know the island and of course some of the other experts that are at your disposal as being part of our program. So it's your turn to give us some feedback. So here on the screen, there's a few questions for you. Feel free to answer all of them or one of them or two of them. If you need some time to think about it, you're welcome to email me after this presentation. But if you would, go ahead and find that Q&A section down there at the bottom of your toolbar and just type in, give us some feedback. What are you liking about the webinar series? Are you learning from it? Are you using them, to reach out to clients? Are you posting them anywhere? Do you have any suggestions? What would you like to hear more about or see more of? And this is a point to highlight for yourself. Number 3 there, do you have a specialty or other relevant topic that you would like to present? So do you have something that you do that you're really great at or that you have a lot of knowledge in that you think would be helpful to others in your same situation or in your shoes? And if you do, get with myself or with Ivan, and we will work together to get you either as a panelist on this webinar or get a recording out to our partners, whatever works the best for you. So just take about 30 seconds or so and type into that Q&A section. And then we will
Let me jump in
we'll
here
get going with sales updates. But I do want to specify one thing here, and Ali had just helped me clarify. For the webinar series that you're talking about here in the first question, you are referring to the weekly webinars we've been doing, providing content on the different properties we have and the different opportunities, right? Or do you mean the webinars for the partners, like these monthly webinars?
Right. So the webinar series, yeah. So good question, Rachel. Specifically for the webinar series, like the Belize series that we did, that went through the country, but then also property highlights and things like that. Like this month is our spotlight is, Nicaragua. So we started out with the Discover Nicaragua webinar, and now we're moving into the, the specific properties themselves. So that's what I'm referring to there. But I would love to hear your feedback on the referral partner webinars too. So happy to hear what you think and how you're feeling and how we can better serve you.
Fantastic. Thank you. And if you have no idea what we're talking about with the webinar series, make sure you email us, because that was actually, we decided to do the webinar series around the time that COVID was really hitting and people were not able to actually physically come to the properties to see what they're about. So we really, as Ali said, highlighted and put a spotlight on the different countries that we work in and the different communities and properties within that country. Since unfortunately, we're not able to hop on a plane for most of the countries we work in at this point. But all right, I'm seeing some good feedback come in over here. Maybe Ali, Ivan, what we can do is review it after the session here. And then if anybody needs a little bit more time to think about it, I think you all have Ali's email address at this point. Just send her a message back, and we can certainly go through that with you. And do note that we take your suggestions and your considerations to heart. Obviously, we want to make the marketing as comprehensive as possible, as effective as possible. So any feedback that you have for us is definitely greatly appreciated. All right. With that, do you have anything else, Ali, Ivan, you want to add? Otherwise, we'll jump into the property updates here.
No, I think, like you said, we're just love to get your feedback, love to hear how you're feeling at this point. And I will just echo what you said, since there are so many that will watch this recording, after the fact, when it gets sent out later this afternoon, going through all of those ideas and comments are going to be very useful to us and to the team. So thank you guys.
Yep. Fantastic.
Right, and I'll add in that along with the ideas that you guys could contribute, of course, you know, we already have sort of our strategy in place, but if you have new creative ideas, you've seen something done a little bit differently and it's worked, and you'd like to do that for the people that you serve, by all means, you know, let us know. We're like Rachel said, we're here to make sure that the marketing is tailored to you and it works for you. So just let us know about anything that you'd like us to improve upon and do a little bit more of as well.
Yes, just bear in mind that any customization will take a little bit more time, so just bear with us as we do get through all those custom requests. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the property updates at this point, and I want to touch upon something before that's been asked by a lot of my clients, and I know by our referral partners as well, is traveling to Belize and traveling to Nicaragua. So as of right now, the border for Belize is still scheduled to open on August 15th. There is a whole protocol that you need to follow if you're coming into the country as a tourist. You need to get a COVID test within 72 hours of traveling. It has to be negative. You have to stay at what we're calling a gold standard hotel, which means it's been approved by the BTB, Belize Tourism Board, to open, that it's taken all the precautionary measures. That's taken a little bit of time to get that instated, but there is a whole set of things that you need to do in order to actually get into the country. We're happy to send you that link to the Belize Tourism Board so you're able to see what that looks like. I would recommend, though, just for sake of ease of travel, wait a little bit of time. That would be my best suggestion. We want to see obviously how it goes with these new processes and procedures, and it most likely, there are going to be a couple of hiccups along the way of the border reopening, of the processes and procedures put in place. So just bear that in mind. Although the border is scheduled to reopen August 15th, it could of course be pushed back at any point, and they are just still working through some of those kinks. In Nicaragua, the border actually never closed. So airlines, American, United, Delta, those three ones from the US, they stopped flying down to Nicaragua, but the border never actually closed. So there are people I know who have chartered planes from the States to get down to Nicaragua, whether they had a house down there or they were just looking to spend a few months in the country. That is definitely an option, but looks like the flights are scheduled to resume flying back to Nicaragua in September. So just something to bear in mind. But again, we're going to be kind of looking over the situation, just seeing how everything goes. Although we do have a couple of tours set for the end of this year. If timing doesn't work out, then we'll just push them to next year. Obviously, everybody's safety is of utmost importance, so we don't want to be pushing anything too soon if the timing is not necessarily right. So just bear that in mind. But with that being said, construction is still occurring in both of these countries. Our Belize Marriott property, this is the beachfront location located about half a mile from the heart of the downtown area. We are in the process of building our bar, Crazy Canucks. Crazy Canucks is actually an establishment that's already open on our site. The building is old that they're currently located in, and it's the only building left on site right now. It was the former site of Exotic Key Beach Resort. We ended up deconstructing Exotic Key Beach Resort last year, left the Crazy Canucks structure because they understood when they got this new structure, they would be moved out to a new location, half on land, half over the water. Beautiful, beautiful spot. So we are looking to finish this project in September. Then from there, we will break ground on the Marriott, because at that point, we're able to tear down Exotic Key Beach Resort and we'll have all of the property open to begin construction. So really excited for that. It's a really beautiful property for those of you who have been to Belize before, specifically to our office, our blue casita. If you're sitting in the office or you're sitting in the rocking chairs looking out over the water, this is just to the left-hand side of the property. So it's going to be a very, very nice establishment. In addition to that, we have started to talk with you about the Tiny Eco-Friendly Homes Test Village in Belize. These are our over-the-water structures. We really did not do any marketing for it as a company. All of the reservations at this point really have been from word of mouth. There's been two referral agents in particular that decided that they personally wanted one of these homes, told their friends about it. And then 2-3 days later, all of our first right of refusal spots were taken in phase one. So what we did is we started a wait list for phase one. For anybody who does not get into phase one on that wait list, we'll push them over to phase two. And phase two homes are going to be starting at $149,900 plus titling costs and furniture packages. So in phase two, at this point, I think we even have a couple more since the last time I updated this slide, but I think we're at 21 at this point. this community will most likely be about 21 homes. So we're kind of at capacity, but we're always willing to take a wait list because we know that not everybody who signs up initially or puts a deposit down is able to move forward. But we're officially launching phase 2 in September, October. And the reason we have a little bit of lag time in between taking this wait list and launching the phase is we're working right now with the architect to create the site map for it. And that'll give us a really good understanding of how many homes will be over the water. We have a lot of other land actually in this area, but it's land. It's not going to be over the water homes. So we will continue with this tiny home community in that area on West Ambergris, which is a beautiful location. It's about 5 minutes west of the heart of the downtown area. It feels like you're on a private island. You take a boat over, within 5 minutes, you're totally surrounded by water. It just feels like a private island, but yet you have the amenities and the convenience of San Pedro downtown area right there. So we're really excited for this, but if you would like specific information, just let us know. We don't have all of the details at this point, especially for phase 2. We can give you everything just about for phase 1, but do note there may be some slight modifications. There may be modifications to the floor plans. At this point, we are planning to use the 3 that you see here on the screen, but there may be modifications in phase 2, just depending on the efficiency of these current models. So just bear that in mind there. Our next property is the Fleet at Best Western. This is at our Grand Bayman property. Grand Bayman in March was branded as a Best Western, and we launched the Fleet building, 12 units in total. At this point, we have 1 studio remaining. It's very affordable, under $100,000, plus the furniture and the closing costs brings it to about $111,000. And then we do have financing available 50% and 80%. If 80%, there is a slight price premium with that at about $109,900 and plus closing costs and furniture. We're breaking ground this month. We're really excited about that. It'll be about a 10 to 12 month build period. I know our contractor says he's going to have it done in May. I understand it may be a little bit longer than that because we are, in a developing country, but we would expect, I'd say, 10 to 12 month build period. So if you have anybody who's looking for a brand new property, wants something now, wants something affordable. These are in essence hotel rooms. They're studios. They're about 300 square feet plus the balcony space. They're efficient. They have the kitchenette there. They have an owner lockout closet so your client can store their stuff there, but it is being put into the Best Western rental program. So I think that the timing of this comes actually at a really great time because tourism is just going to start opening up again in August. Cross fingers, open up again August 15th. This will give tourism about another year to rebound, and then these condos will be available for rental. Or if somebody wants to live there, they could as well. But there's 1 studio remaining here. So because there's been such a demand for these affordable condos, we are working right now on the next building at the Best Western. It's called the Galleon building. So this will have the opportunity for your clients to put their condo into the Best Western rental program again, or if they choose to live there full time or come and go as they please, they're able to do that as well. But this building will have studios and 1 bedrooms. And then how we're configuring the studios and 1 bedrooms will give you a 2-bedroom option or a 3-bedroom option. So the 2-bedroom would be a 1 bedroom plus a studio. So it'd be a lock off. The 3-bedroom would be a 1 bedroom and then 2 studios. So it would be a lock off there as well. So it could be rented in a couple of different ways. If it's a 2-bedroom, it could be rented as a studio or a 1-bedroom. If it's a 3-bedroom, it could be rented as a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom or a 1-bedroom and 2 studios. It really gives that lock off sort of option. I hope that wasn't confusing. If anyone needs a little bit more clarification on that, let me know. But we are in the stages right now of putting that building together, putting the floor plans together. So we don't have anything available to hand out to you at this point, but what we are doing is taking first right of refusal deposits. This has worked out very well with our tiny homes. Essentially, a client needs to put down $999. It's a refundable deposit, but that gets them on the first right of refusal list or the first look list. So what we do is we'll take 12 names. And then at that point, we'll reach out to the 12 names. Once we have all the details, they'll get the information first before anybody gets it. If they want to move forward, fantastic. They have the $999 deposit that they can apply towards the purchase price. If they decide they don't want to move forward, we'll refund them. And then when we go out to the rest of the list, the rest of our database, our shareholders, then they'll get the options to look thereafter. So this is, I think, very insightful for those forward-thinking investors, for people who like to see things first, who understand that location probably is important when it comes to ownership within a condo building. Like the fleet, we will have 80% financing. There will be a premium for 80% financing. Otherwise, 50% financing will be available. And then, of course, cash payments. And we'll be launching this building September, so next month of 2020. And this one will be about a 10 to 12 month build period there too. So just something to bear in mind, towards end of 2021 is when this building would be opening, again, right in time for the high season there in Belize. But just to go back to the galleon here, like I said, we don't have any floor plans. We don't have any pricing models available for this yet. But if you would like the refusal or the look list, let us know and we're happy to get that information over to you. You may remember this from the last webinar, Hacienda La Hacienda. They're canal front condos that we have about 3/4 of a mile, a little bit less than that, south of the heart of the downtown area. All of the condos, it's a 10 condo building, 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, and they all look over the bay. You can see that over here on the right-hand picture on the bottom. They all look over the bay and then the canals. And here on the left-hand side is a picture of the moor, where if you have any clients who have boats, they're able to dock their boats right there. And condo number 7 specifically comes with a free sailboat. So if you know anybody who's a big boater, I think this is a really great opportunity for them to pick up a boat. They have a free spot to dock it, and then they can come back and forth to their condo or put in the rental market, whichever is most convenient to them. Las Perlas. So now we're shifting gears. We're going over to the Grand Pacifica Nicaragua property. We had a webinar on Las Perlas last week. And this was the webinar we had last week was the Las Perlas condos and then Casita Village, which are our smaller homes, about 1,000 square feet at Grand Pacifica. But I think if you have somebody who's looking for value, who's looking for opportunity, perhaps if you know anybody in California, or, I mean, that's what we tend to find. Nicaragua appeals to a lot of people from California because you're looking at the same water, you're looking at the Pacific water. It's 82 degrees, 83 degrees year round. There's incredible surfing without having those large crowds that you typically get on the waves of California, but the prices are so much more affordable. Like I mentioned, Nicaragua did not close its borders. We, as Grand Pacifica, closed in about April. We just opened up this past weekend. We had a full house there. We're still getting a tremendous amount of local visitors who are coming. We're the closest beach community to the capital, to Managua. It takes less than an hour from the capital to get to the property, so we still have a lot of that local tourism happening. We have a lot of surfers who are coming because they, quite frankly, don't care what's going on in the world. They just want to be able to get really great waves without having those crowds. So this is one property. I lived in Nicaragua for a while. I spent weekends at Grand Pacifica, and this is one that if I had the extra capital right now, I think that I would personally purchase because of the location. It looks right out there on the waves, looks right out at the Pacific. It's beachfront. You see the sunset right there in front of you. It's steps away from the pool, and it has a lovely wraparound balcony. It's a studio condo. It's about 668 square feet, being offered for under $140 plus closing costs and furniture. And this building is currently under construction at this point. The end of this month, we will have the roof on, and then it'll be about another 4 to 6 months until the building is complete, just in time for surf season. So I'm expecting that we're going to be getting a lot of surfers out there. But it's just a prime location within the property. And we really need more condos at Grand Pacifica. Right now we have about 23. They get booked out quite frequently. And just to have more options for people, especially brand new options, I think is going to be a home run. So if you have clients who you think would be interested in this, do let us know. Again, typically we see folks from Grand Pacifica tend to be from California, not exclusively, but we do tend to see that because you are following the coastline there of the Pacific. In addition to that, we are going to be launching our eco-friendly village at Grand Pacifica. Ava, as Ivan mentioned before, Eco Village Asachio. Asachio is the beach that is just steps away from this community. It's a 2-minute walk from the beach. These are going to be totally off the grid. Our test homes in Belize, our tiny homes in Belize, are hybrid, so it is connected to the grid, but you do have eco-friendly features to it, whereas these homes are primarily off the grid. They are all off the grid. There are a couple of different models, just depending on what your client is looking for. But if you look down at the pricing, you can see it's super affordable, under $100,000 plus the furniture and the closing costs. The first phase is limited to 14 homes. There are about 50 homes slated in this community, but they will be done in different phases. I think first phase personally is the best phase because it has those the Pacific front water views. They're closest to the beach. But would totally recommend this for any of your clients who are looking for off the grid options and want to be close to a developed community, but they don't necessarily want to be in the heart of the development per se. It is about 1.5 miles from the condos that I just showed you before, the Las Perlas condo, but it is still within walking distance. I mean, you could walk straight up the beach there, be at the restaurant, be at the pool in just a short matter of time. But like I said, first phase is limited to 14 homes. And this one we are taking reservations for a $999 deposit. I believe at this point we have one person who has put down the deposit. We haven't launched this yet to our database, but we will be doing that in the next couple of weeks here. I know we have a couple of referral partners as well who are primarily geared and focused on eco-friendly homes. So I'm sure this will do quite well in their marketplace as well, but just something for you to consider as you're building your portfolio or your clients are building their portfolio. And to add on to that, Ali and Ivan mentioned it a few slides ago, but we are doing the webinar for this on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So do join us if you would like more information there. And you are certainly welcome to invite your clients as well. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit to our agricultural products. I think many of you at this point know that we own teak farms throughout the region. We have 2 farms, well, 3 farms in Nicaragua. We've offered 2. One is for Gran Pacifica ownership. And then in Panama, we own 3 farms there as well. The 21-year-old farm is sold out. We have the teenage farm, which was 14. It just turned 15 in July. And then we also have a newborn farm there. So as teak increases in age, it gets bigger and it grows in value. It's literally growing in size and it's growing in value. So every year there's a birthday, every year there is a price increase. So this teak did just turn 15. As you see there at the bottom of the screen, there's a teak price increase. And this may be a little bit different from the traditional sort of real estate that you're selling, but it is a great low cost, low entry opportunity for your clients who are investment minded. This product tends to do really, really well with investors who are looking at alternative investments. Excuse me, maybe they've had a ton of money in the stock market, maybe they've done well, or they just don't necessarily trust what's going on in the stock market today, and they're looking for alternatives. And timber has just continued to do really quite well in the marketplace. We have a whole resource guide about it, but teak specifically is what our company offers. And then we also pair that up with a residency program in both Panama and Nicaragua for your clients who are looking for that plan B. So like I said, it might be outside your typical wheelhouse, but I think it is definitely worth a conversation if you know that you have clients that are a little bit more into the alternative options. And then you may remember this from the last slide or the last webinar last month, but we are in the process of putting together our site map for Freedom Village. This is a new property that we acquired a few months ago in between David and Boquete of Panama. It's about 25 minutes from each, right in the middle. It's a cooler tropical climate. Mike Cobb, our CEO, and I were there in January. It's a fantastic piece of property. Infrastructure's already in. There are creeks and rivers running through the property. And the first neighborhood that we're going to be creating is a tiny home community there. Go figure. It is going to be a hybrid system as well, so not totally off the grid, but it will have those green sort of features. And what's really cool about what we're doing at this community at Freedom Village is because we have the teak farms in Panama, what we're going to be doing is integrating teak into the construction of our tiny homes. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for the owners of the teak farm because they have their teak being sold and bought by somebody. And then on our side of the owners of Freedom Village of the tiny homes, they are getting integration of teak, which is one of the best hardwoods out there, the most durable hardwoods out there to build with. It's very expensive as well. So it's going to add this unique sort of feature to these tiny homes. So we're still a few months ready from having that material ready for you. But of course, we like to keep you updated about what we're working on. And Freedom Village is one I think that's going to excite many, many people. And then just a few things for you to remember. We always have at least 50% financing available. Depending on the project, we may have a little bit more, but just talk to us about what that looks like if you have a project in mind specifically. We do accept cryptocurrency. Last month, we held a webinar about Bitcoin and crypto. And I think that's a great, if you're not familiar with cryptocurrency, do request that webinar to watch it if you haven't had the chance to, because more and more people are getting into cryptocurrency these days, and it'll kind of give you an advantage if you're able to speak about it with your clients. In addition to that, all of our properties are fully titled. Clients receive a title or a deed to their property. That's very important to us as a developer to be able to deliver that. I've had a lot of people ask why we don't work in Mexico. And that's one of the big reasons is because beachfront property there, yes, they have fideicomiso And they figured out this bank trust over time for beachfront property, but it's just something that we as a company aren't totally comfortable with. In addition to that, we've been in business for over 20 years at this point. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen a little bit more about our history in the region. We have our personable and knowledgeable sales team. And then last but not least, this is something that Ivan and our marketing team are working on, and I think is going to be very, very helpful for all of you on the line here, is we're working on an MLS for our ECI properties. I know MLS isn't the right technical word for it. It'll be more of a directory of our properties. So you'll be able to go directly to this website. You'll be able to type in what is your $200,000, and then the opportunities will pop up there. So give us some time as we are finalizing this. There's a lot of information that we have to integrate there into the system, but do note that we are trying to make your job as easy as possible, and that is something that will be available to you in the next few months here. With that being said, here is who some of our team members are from the sales team. I know many of you were asking about who your clients are talking to and what their experience is in the region. Joe is a citizen of Belize. Natalie is a resident. She's lived in Belize for a while. James lived in Belize. Betsy has lived in Belize. Kirby is going to be living in Belize. And Diego has lived in Nicaragua for a handful of years. He's from New Jersey originally, but has family there in Nicaragua and lives in Nicaragua full time at this point. So our sales team is really quite experienced, and a lot of them have gone through this process of moving or spending time in another location permanent. They've done it themselves. They've personally experienced it. And so they're able to talk with the clients a little bit more extensively versus somebody who's just sitting in the States behind a computer and was trained about what to say. And I think that that really sets us apart from a lot of the other developers out there, because you ask them where their team is, like, oh yeah, we're in Belize, we represent Belize properties. Well, have you been to Belize? No, but we're going to get there at some point. So it just helps to create that authentic experience, the authentic conversation when you are dealing with your clients. Now, I'm going to hand this off back to Alex. Section of the property updates. There's a lot going on all the time, but if you would like more of an in-depth explanation about one of the projects or a couple of them, just let us know and we'll be happy to get you as much information as possible. So with that, Allie, I'm going to hand it back to you. And I think, what time is it? Oh, well, we're getting close to the hour here, but we'll start to wrap it up.
Perfect. Just a few reminders. You guys have done a great job getting your leads registered to register at ecidevelopment.com with Yaka. Thank you for remembering to do that. These are for your manual leads, the ones that you're having conversations with maybe over coffee or in your office. Not necessarily the ones that you are generating from those campaigns, but these are people that you want to introduce personally with those personalized email introductions. So great job lately with that, you guys. Number 2 is really important. Check your spam. If you think you should have heard something from me and you haven't, take a walk through your spam inbox and just, I may be sitting in there sometimes. You know, the email platforms like me, and sometimes they don't. So just do that kind of regularly. Like I said, if you're expecting to see something from me and you haven't heard from me. The third one is really important, you guys. As you all, move and grow and join different, kinds of brokerages or offices and things like that, your contact information within our database needs to be updated. Maybe you take a new headshot and you want that one to be included on your landing pages. Please make sure to send that over to us. Let us know what your primary email address is. We know that things change. Sometimes you have to change your email address or your phone number. So just keep that in mind as you go through those changes to keep us in the loop so we can stay in touch with you. And I just wanted to mention, I see some of our new referral partners here on the screen, and I know that some of these properties you aren't as familiar with as you would like to be. We do have those webinars that are recorded and available to you to review at your convenience. So if you would like those, of course, just send me an email, let me know which property you're interested in or which country you're looking at, and I can send you all of those to review when you're able to.
All right, and I do want to mention one thing, Allie, and you just mentioned here in point number 1, and you gave an example earlier in the presentation, is the email intro goes a really, really long way. And I know we've emphasized this in the past. It's great when your clients are filling out the forms and whatnot, but if you get someone who you really think is interested, who you think is ready to have that sort of conversation with one of our sales agents, please do that email intro. I know David, you're on the line here, David K. He's done that a few times as well. And we see that we get more responses from people because there is that personal introduction. And we do sometimes go to spam and they don't always answer the phone for us. So that is a great way to not necessarily ensure that the person or your client is going to respond, but there's a much higher probability of that happening. And I think for everybody on the line here, we want that engagement. You want your client to learn about the options, to then make a decision to move forward to become an owner with ECI. So please, please, please bear that in mind. And I'm sure Allie can send you the text if you want the template there that she showed of a couple different referral partners that have proved to be really quite successful. So please do bear that in mind.
Sure. So Rachel, we had a few questions come up. You know, Lester, we saw your question about the boat. We're going to get with Patrick on that and get some answers for you there. But Rachel, Jeff has a question about the referral program for rentals. Could you talk a little bit about what that looks like?
Sure. So we can certainly provide referral fees. It depends on how long, I think I turned off my video. Sorry here, guys. It depends on how long that person is staying for. So if it's a nightly rental, we typically pay up to 15%. If it is a long-term rental, long-term is typically defined as 3 months or more, we pay 10%. And that's of the total stay, not including the tax, of course. So just let us know if you want us to work on some sort of program with you. I know that one of our referral partners, Emily and Ivan, just put together a handful of vacation packages that we can certainly replicate and send over. Then we're able to do that too. But yeah, it's something that we could certainly talk about, and just depending on what your clients are interested in, we can make something a little bit more custom to you. But do note that it is up to 10% and up to 10% for long-term and up to 15% for nightly. Just depends on the property, but typically that is the max there.
Perfect. Thank you, Rachel.
You're very welcome.
We do have some other questions here. Toy, I'm gonna send you an email and to answer your question. It is a good one. Those of you that are asking about the previous webinars, you know, maybe you missed a few in between. So if you're looking for those to kind of retroact and be able to send out to your network, I'll be happy to get those put together for you. Just shoot over an email to me at arodriguez1.eci. I'm sorry, arodriguez1.eci@gmail.com, and I will get those put together for you. So with that being said, it looks like we've had a great webinar today. Anybody else have anything they want to share, Ivan?
No, this is good. I do see one question in here that I saw about a webinar about why people should consider expat life. I know we've done something like that previously, and maybe what we can do, Jeff, is send you the recording of it. Mike Cobb hosted it, and we'll send you a recording. And if it's something that you would like for us to do again live, we can certainly do that. But yeah, really great questions here, everyone. Thank you for your engagement. And Ivan, I apologize if you were about to jump in there. It's all yours now.
You said exactly what I was going to say, so it's fine. That's perfect. No, but yeah, thank you so much, everybody. A lot of great questions. We did take note. I did send some responses to everybody here that sent in some questions. So we're going to be reaching out to you guys individually to talk about, you know, everything that you guys asked about. So keep an eye out for those emails. And then as Ali said, check your spam. She might be sitting in there just in case. Okay.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Look forward to keeping in touch.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.